Welcome to Math with Professor V. Here's your latest integral of the day. I especially love this one. Dr. Alan Bromborsky has been keeping me really busy lately, sending over some fun integrals. And this one has a couple of nice slick moves inside of it. So I didn't want to solve it and then not share it with you. So we have here the indefinite integral of 1 over 1 plus the square root of x plus the square root of x plus 1. And it's worth noting that the domain of the integrand is x has to be greater than or equal to 0. That'll help us with some simplification at the end. Okay, so to start things off, let's go ahead and multiply by the conjugate of the denominator, namely 1 plus square root of x minus the square root of x plus 1. So I'm basically treating these two terms as one quantity, and then here's the second quantity. So 1 plus square root of x minus square root x plus 1. Okay, fabulous. So what happens here? Well, in the numerator, I'm just going to get back 1 plus square root of x minus square root x plus 1. And then now in the denominator, we'll have a difference of squares. So it'll be 1 plus square root of x squared minus square root of x plus 1 squared. So it'll be x minus 1 because I'm distributing the negative all in one fell swoop. Okay, now let's clean up. So we've got up top 1 plus rad x minus rad x plus 1. And then what's going on downstairs? So this will be 1 plus, if I want a nice light highlighter. Give me a nice color. Perfect. If I multiply this all out, I'll have 1 plus 2 rad x plus x, very good, minus x minus 1. Oh, and this is where just the loveliest cancellation happens. So these 1's are gone, the x's are gone, and now things just feel really nice. I just have a 2 rad x in the bottom. I'm going to actually take 1/2 out, and then we have 1 plus rad x, dx, minus rad x plus 1 over just rad x dx. How are we doing up to here? I can rewrite the denominator separately under each of the terms that are in the numerator, and you'll see we're in a really good place. So we have 1 over rad x plus rad x over rad x is 1 minus rad x plus 1 over rad x dx. Okay, so let's go through term by term. We could integrate this, no problem. That's just x to the negative 1/2. This we can integrate that in our sleep. What about rad x plus 1 over rad x? Okay, so let's just play with that on its own. So let's just do a little consider how to tackle the integral of the square root of x plus 1 over square root of x dx. Okay, first thing that popped out at me is, let me try rationalizing the denominator. So I'm going to multiply top and bottom by rad x. And then what are we going to be left with? We'll have square root of x squared plus x over, yes, x dx. And then now this is screaming for trig substitution. I'm going to walk through the solution using a traditional trig sub because that's the method most students will typically see in a standard calculus course. Now at the end, I'll show you an alternative way that you can write the answer using an inverse hyperbolic function, which is how Dr. Bromborsky prefers to express it. But typically those functions aren't covered in depth in most calculus curricula, so it's nice to see how the answers connect, but I want to show what most students are probably going to use. Okay, we need to complete the square for the expression underneath the radical here to figure out which trig sub is going to be appropriate. So x squared plus x plus 1/4 would be a perfect square trinomial. So I'm going to subtract a 4th. And then this factors into x plus 1/2 quantity squared minus 1/4 is also 1/2 squared. So remember, when you have the variable quantity squared minus the constant squared, you use the following substitution. You're going to let x plus 1/2 equal 1/2 secant theta. And then dx would be 1/2 secant theta tan theta d theta. How are we doing? All right, perfect. Now let's go ahead and change our integral so everything's rewritten in terms of theta. So underneath the radical, don't look at this to make the substitution. Really, underneath the radical, we have x plus 1/2 squared minus 1/2 squared. And what is that all going to be replaced with? That's going to be 1/2 secant theta squared minus 1/2 squared over, now notice in the denominator I have plain old x. So plain old x would be 1/2 secant theta minus 1/2. And then don't forget dx over here has to get replaced with all of this. 1/2 secant theta tan theta d theta. Okay, perfect. Perfect. Let's clean up, call in the cleanup crew. So we have square root. This is going to be 1/4 secant squared theta minus 1/4 over, I could take out a 1/2 here, then that's secant theta minus 1 times 1/2 secant theta tan theta d theta. Okay, the 1/2s cancel, this 1/2 and this 1/2. If I take out a 4th, that's secant squared theta minus 1, and then remember, all of that is underneath the square root sign. So this 1/4 secant squared theta minus 1, that's 1/4 tan squared theta. I take the square root of that. We don't have to worry about absolute value on tan theta because we've restricted where theta is when we trig sub. So square root of 1/4 is 1/2. Let's put that outside. I've just got tan theta to the first now. And then this is over secant theta minus 1. And then I've got that secant theta tan theta d theta hanging out. Okay? The worst is over, truly. Yes. Like, I don't believe you, Professor V. Please believe me. So 1/2, this is going to be tan squared theta secant theta over secant theta minus 1. Then I was thinking to myself, well, let me multiply by a conjugate of the denominator. Then I can maybe use some trig identity. So secant theta plus 1, secant theta plus 1. And the most lovely thing unfurled. Yeah, I got really excited. So we're going to just distribute. The numerator's easy peasy. That's tan squared theta secant squared theta plus tan squared theta secant theta over, what's the denominator going to be? Secant squared theta minus 1 d theta. But who is secant squared theta minus 1? Yes, tan squared theta. So I can cancel tan squared theta and the entire denominator out. Now we've got 1/2 integral secant squared theta plus secant theta d theta. Oh, we can integrate each of these, no big deal. 1/2, that'll be tangent theta plus natural log absolute value secant theta plus tangent theta, and then I'll say plus c. Okay, now we have to get back to the original variable of the problem. So remember, we had made that substitution. We had let x plus 1/2 be 1/2 secant theta. So it is triangle time. I'm going to multiply through by 2. Then you have 2x plus 1 is secant theta. So think of this as 2x plus 1 over 1 is secant theta. So let me draw a triangle where that's an accurate representation of the ratio for theta. Secant theta is ratio of hypotenuse over adjacent. So what's that missing side going to be? So it's going to be the square root of, now if I square this hypotenuse, that's 4x squared plus 4x plus 1 minus 1. It's just square root of 4x squared plus 4x. But then I can take a 4 out. So that's 2 square root x squared plus x. Okay, here we go. Now let's use this triangle and get back to x's. So we'll have 1/2 tangent theta. That's going to be ratio of opposite over adjacent. So that's 2 square root x squared plus x over 1 plus natural log. Oh, we don't need that. Absolute value. Secant theta is right here, 2x plus 1, plus tan theta, we have it right there, 2 rad x squared plus x. Okay. And then close it up, plus c. Okay, very good. Now, I can distribute, so then we just have square root x squared plus x plus 1/2 ln. I don't need absolute value because remember, domain for x was that it had to be greater than or equal to 0. So we know this can't be negative. Okay, so back to the problem, right? So back to the original integral, we had integral with the 1/2 outside. It was 1 over square root of x plus 1 minus square root x plus 1 over square root of x dx. Okay, we're ready to go. So we've got 1/2. This is x to the negative 1/2. So if I add 1 to the exponent, divide by the new exponent, it's going to be 2 square root of x plus integral of 1, that's just x, minus, and then we just spent some time working on this. It's all up here. Okay. It's all here. Okay, so minus square root x squared plus x minus 1/2 ln 2x plus 1 plus 2 square root x squared plus x. Is that everything? Yeah. Plus, I already used up c. Oh no, k, whatever. Now, can we clean up some more? We most certainly can. Let me distribute the 1/2. So we've got just plain old rad x plus 1/2 x minus 1/2 square root x squared plus x minus 1/4 natural log 2x plus 1 plus 2 square root x squared plus x plus k. Now, I'm going to show you how to simplify this further, and it might not be apparent to you unless you knew that the alternate solution using the inverse hyperbolics instead has for this last term negative 1/2, yes, hyperbolic sine inverse of the square root of x. And if you're not familiar with what hyperbolic inverse sine of rad x is equal to in terms of natural logs, it would be natural log of the square root of x plus the square root of x plus 1. So since Dr. Bromborsky sent that solution over, I wanted to make sure I could get this to match, of course. So observe here, and this is maybe the kind of slick part. Observe. We have in the argument, I suspected something could be done here. We have 2x plus 1 plus 2 rad x squared plus x. I knew the goal was to somehow make this some quantity squared. That way I could use my properties of logarithms, bring the 2 in the front, and then that 1/4 would become a 1/2 exactly. So I knew this is somehow a perfect square trinomial. Can I play around with it? So let's write this as x plus 1 plus, if I factor out a rad x, this is 2 rad x plus 1, right? Okay, good. And then just with some rearranging, hopefully you can see how it's a perfect square trinomial. X plus 1 plus 2 rad x plus 1 plus, let me move that other x over, right? So then here's your a squared 2ab, b squared. So I can rewrite this as square root x plus 1 plus square root of x squared. Ah, perfect. So then we can say that the 1/4 natural log of rad x plus 1 plus rad x squared that we had up here, right? That's what all of this is. Good? Okay. Is equal to, bring that 2 down front, 1/2 natural log square root x plus 1 plus square root of x. Yay! And then all together now, we can proudly write our final answer. We have the square root of x plus 1/2 x minus 1/2 square root x squared plus x minus 1/2 natural log square root x plus 1 plus square root of x plus c, or alternatively, you could write this as, yes, hyperbolic sine inverse rad x. Oh, it's k, not c. I got carried away. Box that with immense pride. That's a job well done. Okay. So comment down below, how did you like this integral? Did you solve it differently? I love reading your alternate solutions. Also, let me know, are you currently in Calculus 2 learning integration, or did you take it a while ago? How in depth were you taught the hyperbolic functions, inverse hyperbolic functions, substitutions using them? we very lightly cover it in Calc 1, and then it's kind of just not a part of the common curriculum the state emphasizes or requires. So I'm curious to see what the standards are elsewhere. Thank you guys so much for your support. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. I have playlists going through Calculus 2 integration techniques if you need to work on that, Calc 1, Calc 3, linear algebra, differential equations, and so much more. You can also follow me on Instagram and TikTok, Math with Professor V. I'll be back sooner than later. Bye, guys.